Did you sense the legs weren't there, or was it just a poor outing for everybody, or what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, it was a little underwhelming for a lot of guys tonight. I think, you're expecting or hoping a little bit more juice. It just wasn't there right from first period. So excuses for guys that are trying to fight for a job, especially. I don't think you start making excuses at this point. You got to be better than that.
How hard is it to gauge where your special teams are at without a regular roster on the ice? I mean, because that's an area I'm sure that you talk about underwhelming, that was an area that you felt that about.
Yeah, I mean, you're 8 or 9 days into camp. You've had the World Cup. We haven't had our groups together at all. So to evaluate that at this point would be, kind of pointless, I think.
Your thoughts on Sergei Bobrovsky in general and his performance tonight?
Oh, he had some big saves. I mean, there might be one you want back there. The first one, I think, kind of slipped under his arm, but he didn't get a lot of help tonight. He made some big saves there second period, and he was busy in the net. So, as far as Sergei goes, I think he was fine tonight.
Your assessment of Pierre-Luc so far in the 3 preseason games, and also how difficult is it? He learned to play center last year in Cape Breton, but how much different is it than playing it here in an NHL level? And is he thinking? Can you see him thinking out there on the ice?
Yeah, Pierre's a kid who's going to work very hard. He wants to impress. As far as his 3 games, he's been fine. I think his last game was his best game with us. Tonight, like a lot of other guys, I think he kind of struggled. I think the speed of the game caught up to him, and it's a big step. I mean, he's 18 years old, coming into his first camp. You got nerves. You got, he's his first taste of this speed. There's lots to sort through for a young man like that. You see, there's a lot of ability there. I think, in 3 games, do you make a decision on a guy, or do you assess him fully? I don't think you do. I think he's like anyone else. He's, as a young man, trying to come in. He's trying to just every day trying to get better.
Lars, I don't know how long the list was of guys you were looking at to maybe push for a job in this camp, but are you seeing this separation yet from those guys? Are they packed in tight, or are there a couple guys, or do you still want more from a lot of them?
I think we want more, for sure. I think you want to see them separate themselves for those final couple spots, or you want guys to do that. And I think, again, it kind of ebbs and flows from game to game right now and day to day in practice. So, we got a few more games here to play. We got some practice. So I think urgency for some of these guys, it's time to try and separate yourself from these other guys.
Coach Nudivara, I think, had the highest time on ice tonight. What are you liking that you see in his game? He says he likes to be creative or different in his play. Yeah,
you see that. I mean, his ability to skate out of trouble, make plays with a puck. He's a very poised player. Those things are tough to teach defensemen, and he's a special kid that way, where under pressure he seems to be fine. He seems to make the right play, the right pass, at the right time, and like him, there's issues. There are things you want to work on, or the strength of the game. He's in puck battles, but he's definitely showed some things with the puck that you really like.
Brad, Bjorkstrand's in a little bit of a different situation this year, in the sense that if he has a good camp, he's probably on this team, where he's not looking to knock somebody out. He's sort of the guy that other people are trying to knock out. Do you sense him pressing, or do you sense it getting to him a little bit, just the pressure of that situation?
That's something you'd have to ask him. These guys are smart enough to know the positions they're in, opportunities that are in front of them. Pressure does strange things to people, and your dreams to play in the NHL. There's a lot of kids that have this dream right now, and it's close. And so, you get a kind of a mishmash of lineups. You get different opportunities and different roles. But all you can really do is control your game and play well and play as well as you can, play to your strengths. And I think what we're trying to do is put everybody in a position to succeed in their strengths. And like you said, you want to see guys separate themselves, and I don't know if 1 or 2 guys have really done that yet. So we got some more games to assess that.
You had a chance tonight, the 5-on-3, some prime scoring chances. That could have changed the face of the game at that point, fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a 1-goal game, right? And, it's a game of inches. Another inch down, it's in. He doesn't miss those very often, but, you got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Are you guys where you need to be on October 2nd to be where you really need to be on October 13th?
Well, I mean, if we're not undefeated, we're not playing perfect hockey, if that's what you're asking. I mean, there's lots of camp left, and we're narrowing numbers down. We're getting to that time in camp where, you know, it gets a little bit more heavy into the teaching, the video work. So we're not anywhere near where we want to be at this point. I mean, I don't think any team is at this point. So, and again, we're evaluating still at this point. You see our lineups right now and what we're trying to do and give guys opportunities. So the process continues. You know, the foundation has been set about 8-9 days ago, what we're trying to achieve, and just continue to build off these things.
Just one more thing on Pierre-Luc. I was asking you, do you see him playing and reacting or still thinking, because he is learning that position at this level?
Pierre, I would say, would be overthinking some situations, and it's because he cares and he's trying. Usually, you know, as a coach, if you're thinking, you're playing slow. And sometimes that's the case with not only him, but some other players too, you know. So, and in their defense, you know, we haven't locked down a lot of our system work yet. That hasn't been the mandate from day one. So we've gave them some outline, a little bit of a foundation to work from, but we want to let them play. And so, again, go out and play. And sometimes when you give them just a little bit, they overthink it. And he's not the only one. You know, your system's in place to play fast, not to play slow. And sometimes you give them a little bit of information, and that might slow them down. That might be the case with Pierre, but again, these are questions you probably have to ask him. Good.